SAR's office, and with me I have Jared Harrison. He is from the OneStop, and we would like to welcome you to today's OneStop webinar on understanding the tuition bill. The OneStop provides assistance in key areas of billing, registration, and financial assistance. In today's webinar, we will be discussing important topics including the Federal Education Rights and Privacy Act, commonly known as FERPA, understanding and viewing your student's account, and various options for payment. At the conclusion of the webinar, Jared here will be answering some of your questions. All right, first we're gonna talk about the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, commonly known as FERPA. This is a federal law that protects the privacy of student education records, both financial and academic. Students can grant access to others to view their financial and academic records. This applies to students once they have registered for classes. Without this access, we are not able to discuss information regarding the student's bill, balance, or payment, as well as class schedule, grades, financial aid, housing, or meal plans. And this is without exception. Again, this is a federal regulation, and we do adhere to it strictly. Student only has to give authorization once, though, and they can remove it at any time. As well, they can limit what access other people may have. They may let you see their schedule, but they want you to see their grades. So, for more information on FERPA, please visit our website at miamioh.edu/FERPA. All right, now that we've talked a little bit about FERPA, we're going to take a look at how students can go about granting access, as well as how family members may request access. Students can grant access to authorized users by logging into the Sharing Access web page on the OneStop website. The student will need to provide a valid and current email address for any individual they wish to add. A family member or another individual may also initiate a request for access to the student's account. The account will be established with the student's consent. Access remains in effect unless modified or terminated by the student. To complete the request, click on Request for Access to the Student's Account link from the OneStop website. Next, enter your email address. The email address provided will act as your unique ID when you are logging into My OneStop. If an email address is shared between parents or other individuals, both parties will have individual access if granted by the student. Choose your relationship to the student by entering the student's unique ID or email address, then select the Submit button. The student will receive an email with your request. If the student grants your request, you will receive an email at the email address provided, which contains instructions for setting up the password and directions for logging into My OneStop. This must be completed within 72 hours of receiving the email. Now that we have discussed FERPA, we would like to introduce you to other parts of the OneStop website, which will provide information that will be beneficial to you and your student. The OneStop website is a resource where you can find answers to many questions frequently asked on how to apply for financial aid, types of aid available, how to order a transcript, and viewing and paying your student's bill. For this specific webinar, we will be focusing on how the website can help you understand your student's bill and payment options. From the OneStop website's homepage, you will want to select Your Money at the top of the page. Once selected, Your Money is summarized into 4 sections. We'll be focusing on the Bill and Payment section found on this page. As we continue with our webinar today, we'll refer to various links that can be found on the website. Miami University requires all full-time Oxford students be covered by health insurance. All Oxford students, both domestic and international, registered full-time when the fall semester bill is generated, are charged for health insurance unless the student has completed and been granted a waiver of this insurance. If you are currently covered by insurance from a parent, spouse, or other source, you must complete an electronic waiver request. Once the request is submitted and the information is verified, a confirmation email is sent to your Miami email account and a credit is posted to your Bursar bill. The deadline to request the waiver is August 1st, 2019. Please visit miamioh.edu/student-insurance to complete the waiver or receive more information about Aetna student health insurance. Students receive an email at their miamioh.edu email address when their e-bill is ready to view. Authorized viewers will also receive an email notification. Students and authorized viewers will be sent e-bills monthly as additional charges are assessed. However, with access, you can view the student's bill anytime through My OneStop. Fall semester bills were made available on July 10th and are due on August 6th, 2019. Please note that failure to pay the tuition bill by the due date may result in late fees being assessed, as well as registration holds and possibly even the cancellation of classes. If the student is experiencing difficulty in paying their bill, payment plans are available. To view the student's bill and make payments online, select the Login tab on the OneStop website to begin. A prompt will appear to enter your unique ID and password for the student. For authorized users, the email address and password previously created. This is also the page where passwords may be reset by selecting the Login Help link. Once you log into My OneStop, select Bill and Account Information. Users will have the option to view their account by selecting the plus sign next to My Account. Options for ePromise, Redhawk Refunds, and additional payment info will only be seen if the student is accessing the account. We will be discussing these topics a little bit later. Here are the examples of the two versions of My OneStop. The one on the left is what students will see once they have logged into the site and have selected My Account. The one on the right is what parents or authorized users will see. Authorized users will also see the names of all students that have granted them access in the event that you have more than one child at Miami. In order to view the bill, select View Balance for the specific student. After selecting the View Balance tab, you will be directed to the payment portal. Once the bill page is loaded, it will show a summary of charges as illustrated here. Only aid authorized through Miami University will be displayed on the bill. The balance includes any authorized aid shown. The balance will not include any anticipated payments, even if those have already been reported to us, from any outside scholarships, private loans, or 529 payments. If you have any specific questions regarding navigating the bill, you can select the Navigating the Bill and Payment Portal link on the OneStop website under Your Money. For specific questions concerning payment options, you can select the Payment link under Your Money. There are many different forms of payments accepted. The OneStop is pleased to offer a secure online service to pay your bill by e-check, an electronic check, as well as all major domestic and international credit cards. Please be sure to read credit card rates and terms. E-checks are free. If the student's bill will be paid through a 529 college savings plan, the account holder must notify the 529 plan administrator to transfer the requested funds to Miami University. If the 529 plan will not cover the entire balance, the student will be expected to pay the remaining balance by the bill due date. For international students, Miami University has partnered with Flywire to streamline the tuition payment process. With Flywire, students are offered favorable foreign exchange rates, allowing payment in their home currency. The OneStop also accepts payment from outside scholarships. Miami University will apply these funds directly to the student's account, except in those cases where the conditions of the award prohibit this action. If the student receives the check and it is made out to the student and Miami University, the student should first endorse the check and then bring it to the OneStop location. Students may also endorse the check and then mail it to the OneStop if they prefer. GI Bill and post-9/11 payments will automatically be dispersed under the student's account if all requirements have been met. There is also a payment drop box located in the OneStop. This is available during business hours only. We should mention that only checks and money orders are accepted for payment at our location unless payment is made online. We do not accept cash. Through a partnership with Nelnet Campus Commerce, formerly Tuition Management Systems, plans are available to assist families paying their students' bill over a period of 3 or 4 months. With monthly payment plan options, families incur a nominal enrollment fee, and there are no interest charges. Furthermore, enrollment does not require a credit check. Payment plans may be made for fall or spring semester. Unfortunately, plans are not available for winter or summer terms. The first payment for the 4-month payment plan is due July 20th, and the enrollment fee is $40. The first payment for the 3-month payment plan is due on August 20th, and the enrollment fee is $45. Students should be enrolled in a payment plan prior to the billing due date to avoid any late fees or cancellation of classes. If the student's account balance changes, the payment plan can be updated. Payment plans can be increased or decreased as needed due to additional charges or payments made directly to Miami University. Miami University does not directly report any changes to a student's account to Nelnet. For more information on payment plan options, please visit miamioh.edu/payment plan. To speak with a Nelnet representative, you may call 1-800-258-9128. In order to make a payment, instead of selecting View Balance under the student's account, you will select Make Payment. Once selected, you will have the option to make a one-time payment or set up a monthly payment plan. All payments made will be applied toward the student's unpaid balance on their account, regardless of what term is selected. The balance due will include pending aid and anticipated payments on any payment plan you may have established. International students may access Flywire from this page as well. As mentioned during the start of this webinar, options for e-promise, Redhawk Refunds, and additional payment info can be seen by students accessing their account. The e-promise is a financial responsibility agreement between the student and Miami University. By signing the e-promise, the student is agreeing to pay Miami University tuition, fees, and other charges posted to the Bursar account. It is to be completed each semester at the time of registration. Redhawk Refunds is an option available to all students, but is not used until a credit is actually available on a student's account. Redhawk Refunds is a free service provided through Nelnet that provides a quicker way for students to access any anticipated refunds, such as from financial aid, student accounts, or other funds. Students can enroll at miamioh.edu/Redhawk Refunds or by selecting the link under My OneStop. If your student has any additional payments that are coming from outside resources to Miami that will be used to help satisfy their bill, they will need to complete this link to report these anticipated payments. Only students are able to complete this step. Additional payments may include 529 plans and outside scholarships. You can select the 529 college saving plans and making payments using outside scholarships and other funding sources links on the OneStop website under Your Money. When a student withdraws from the university, they may be eligible for a refund based on the date that the student withdrew. Tuition and fees are refunded according to the university's refund schedule. For withdrawals, weekends and holidays are not included. A refund will be generated for dropped courses only if the drop takes the student below full time in the first 5 days of the semester for fall and spring. Students are not automatically dropped from courses for non-attendance. More information on the refund process can be found at miamioh.edu/refunds. Here is an example of Miami's refund schedule for the Oxford and regional campuses for fall and spring semesters. If a student withdraws during the first 5 days of the, if a student withdraws during the first 5 days of the term, they will receive 100% refund. If they withdraw after the 5th day, tuition and course fees will be refunded according to this schedule shown here. There are separate schedules found on the OneStop website for winter and summer terms. We'd like to thank you for participating in this webinar today. You're welcome to contact our office anytime during our business hours. We are open during the summer, Monday through Friday, from 7:30 a.m. until 4:30 p.m., and from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. during the rest of the year. Our call center opens a half an hour after the office opens. The OneStop is also available for questions via email at onestop@miamioh.edu. At this time, I'm going to turn the mic over to Jared, and he's going to field some of your questions.
Okay, you guys, good afternoon. I do have one question so far, but keep them coming. If you have any, feel free to type them in. First question, how much is the insurance if it is not waived? Insurance, if it is not waived, is $1,722. It covers you from August 1st through August 1st. So once you are in the program, you are in for that year, but it is $1,722. So if you're looking to cut back on the bill and you have health insurance already, please make sure you waive that at miamioh.edu/health. Next question is, how do students give relatives access to help with payments? A couple things. A student can add anyone. It doesn't have to be a parent or family member to FERPA. So if there are grandparents or guardians or aunts or uncles or even friends who you think might be contacting our office with questions concerning their bill, financial aid, registration, have the student add them to FERPA. As Mr. Bruce said, they can remove them anytime, so it is not like once they're at it, they are there forever, you know. So if you do add someone to FERPA, we are able to speak directly to them as long as we have that permission. They are also able to do a guest payment on our website. So if you are thinking that someone is going to contact our office or try to assist in making a payment towards a student, they can always log in and make a payment via a guest payment option. They won't have access to their bill. They won't get the billing information, but they can make a payment to go towards the account at any time. And bear with me as I try to read these questions and think of the answer all at the same time. So if I pause, just give me a moment. Another question, how do people change Moolah amount on the bill? There's two ways to change your Moolah amount. Well, let me backtrack. Once you've already purchased Moolah, if you want to make a change to Moolah, the easiest way to do that is to contact campus services. They could be reached at 513-529-5000. In order to add Moolah to a bill, you can always do that through your My OneStop or My Miami. There will be a link where you go to pay your bill. There will be also a link that says Add to Moolah. So you can do that at any time through My OneStop or My Miami. But if you've already purchased Moolah and you are trying to make an adjustment to it or completely remove it, then I would recommend you do that by contacting campus services directly. What is the convenience fee amount? Convenience fees are charged based off of the credit card company, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, whoever it's through. Typically it's 2.3 to 2.9%. What I will say is when you go to make a payment, it will alert you to that amount before you submit it. So if it's something that you are thinking twice about or you feel the charge is too much, before you submit that payment, it will let you know what that amount will be. But it does depend on the amount that you charge, and that is how that 2.3 to 2.9% is determined. But it's not through it's not through Miami University. It is actually through the credit card company. So just keep that in mind. But you will get notified if or before you submit the payment. What is the school ID for 529? I'm not quite sure if the school has an ID for 529. We do have a tax ID for tax purposes or FAFSA purposes, but for 529, the school ID will probably be the banner ID number of the student, if that is what the question is. We do want to make sure we always get those payments to the correct account. So if you use a banner ID that starts with a +01 typically, or the unique ID, then that will be a way in which they can get their payments to us. I believe that that is what they are referencing when they ask for the school ID. Typically, you'll need our address, our phone number, the amount that you want to have sent to us, and they will work directly with us to get that payment over to us. But I do not believe that you need a specific school ID in the sense that I'm thinking of. If you do, feel free to give our office a call. We'll figure that out for you. We'll find out what it is that they are specifically asking for, and we'll be more than happy to answer that and get you that information. So what info about 529 plans do we need to give Miami, and what does Ohio 529 need from Miami? So backtracking, it is always good to make sure that we know if you have additional resources coming like a 529 plan. You can let us know that on our My OneStop website. That is important because the bills are due on August 6th. We do not want any student or parent to receive any kind of late fees for a payment that is coming from an outside resource that you don't have any control over. So when you let us know on that link, adding additional payment options or additional payment information that a 529 plan is coming, we will make sure that we do not charge you a late fee with that information as long as the amount due is going to be covered with that 529 payment. From my experience here at Miami University, typically you want to reach out to a 529 provider. Like I said earlier, provide them with the amount that you want sent to us, the student's banner ID number, our address, which can be found on our website, our phone number. That way, if there are any issues with them providing us with those payments, we could work with them to get those issues worked out. But there is typically nothing that is needed specifically from Miami University. I will say, however, if the 529 provider is only covering certain specific fees, tuition, or what have you, get in contact with us and we can work with you on getting you any kind of documentation needed to provide to the 529 provider regarding the bill, tuition charges, and things of that nature. But most importantly is you want to make sure you let us know that it is coming, and you want to make sure you reach out to them and provide them with the amount, our address, the student's ID information, and that will allow them to get that payment to us. It typically takes about 2 to 4 weeks, so we still have a little bit of time, but like I said, if you let us know that that is in the process and that amount is what's going to cover the balance, then we will try to assist in not assessing that late fee. You guys, all right, so someone is still seeing insurance on a bill after doing the waiver. So how do you confirm? This kind of depends on when the waiver was done. If it was done yesterday or maybe even a couple of days ago, I would say give it until mid next week for Student Health Services to process it and then credit your account. I wouldn't panic just yet. If we're talking about something that has been done over a month ago or back in June or what have you, then I would recommend contacting the Student Health Services at 513-529-3000 and just make sure that that health insurance waiver went through. Once you waive it, you do receive a confirmation. So if you've got that confirmation online from the portal, then all should be well. But like I said, if we're talking about a month ago or so, then yes, definitely contact Student Health Services and verify that that has gone through okay. But if we're talking about a couple of days ago or something, still give it about a week for it to update. If you are concerned about making a payment before next week, pay everything but the $1,722, and then when that waiver comes through, it'll credit the account and zero balance it out. So if you're trying to get your resources in order and make that payment and you're just waiting for that credit to go off, go ahead and plan to pay everything but the $1,722, and then when that credit comes off, like I said, that will clear the account. Insurance does show as a line item on the bill. So if it is not on your bill, then that means your waiver has gone through. Typically, if you waived it before July 10th, it will not show on the bill. If you waived it after July 10th, you will see it as a line item with a charge, and then you will see it as a line item with a credit after it goes through. Next question is how to confirm immunization is accepted. That is an important question because immunization holds do go on students' accounts. That is through Student Health Services, however, so if you want to confirm immunization has been accepted, then I would definitely recommend you call Student Health Services again at 513-529-3000. So you want to pay from a savings account, has a routing number, is that an option? Personally, I've never paid from a savings account, but I do know it is an option when you go in to make a payment through tuition management systems. They do ask for a routing number and a savings account number. So I am nearly 100% sure that that is an available option to students. When you make a payment online, it will ask you if you are paying it from a savings account or a checking account. Personally, all I've ever used was checks, so I'm not even sure if I know my savings account routing number to even make a payment through my savings account. But that option is available to you, and I'm pretty certain that that is something that you can do. If a pending loan that does not show what to do next, how to determine amount to pay, August 6th. So there's two things along with that. We have to figure out why the loan is pending but isn't showing. So make sure that the entrance counseling is complete, the master promissory note is complete. It could be a verification issue. If you've completed all of your verification and you're just waiting for us to confirm your verification review is complete, then that's one thing. But I would think that that would be something that you'll want to contact our office for because there's really no way to determine what you're going to pay until we can get that authorized. If it's a verification issue, that might change depending on the information that they process and provide. So we can't give you a certain amount. If that's the case, we can give you a certain amount if we're just waiting for the master promissory note or the entrance counseling to be done. But check that. Make sure you go to studentloans.gov. And complete the master promissory note and the entrance counseling, and that should take care of all of the aid that might not be showing up as pending. If it's a verification issue, that's a whole other story, so you want to contact our office, but just make sure you are double checking that all requirements are met to receive that loan, and if so, it should automatically authorize. So how to get proof of insurance to get their student off of current insurance. I'm assuming we're talking about you being charged for health insurance. The proof from insurance actually comes from the parent, and please feel free to chime in. And I'm sorry, proof of insurance from Miami Insurance. I'm sorry, thank you. It will be through Aetna. I cannot speak on personally if you receive a card or anything from Student Health Services. I'm assuming you do, however, but that would definitely be a question for Student Health Services just in case. You will, or you should specifically receive some sort of card or identification that you know that you have, the student, I should say, has insurance through Aetna. When that comes and how quickly that comes, that I am not sure of. That might be a question specifically for Student Health Services, but obviously I do believe that they will have some sort of card or identification if they have insurance through Miami University. So Bruce talked a little bit about dropping a course and why if you still drop within full time, you won't receive a credit. The question is, students changed from 16 to 17 credit hours last week. Does the bill change? No. So if your student is registered for 12 credit hours, they're going to be paying the same amount as a student registered for 19 credit hours. The only time the bill changes is if you drop below 12 credit hours and you are paying per credit hour up until 12. And 12 is considered full time. So anytime the student makes an adjustment to their bill from 12 to 19 or so forth, there will be no additional charges to the bill, but I do want to say that depending on the class that they register for, there might be some additional charges. If it's a business course or if there's a lab fee involved, something like that might trigger an additional charge. But no, tuition charges are the same after full time. Next question, is the $1,722 for insurance paid all at once, or can it be spread over fall and spring? It is paid all at once. It's one lump sum charge that you'll see on a bill. In your fall bill, it will not be a charge for insurance on your spring bill. So it's all paid at one time. It can be wrapped up into the payment plan, though. So keep that in mind. If you want to make payments to spread it over the course of the fall, that might be an option for you. But it is a one-time only charge. Next question, if mailing a check, how long does it take to see payment after Miami receives it? Typically, if we receive a payment before 3 o'clock, it'll be on the student's account that day. If we receive it for whatever reasons after 3 o'clock, it'll be the next day. But overall, we will post payments on students' accounts as soon as we receive them. So it'll all be within 24 hours, I will say. So feel free to mail a check in.
It may take 10 to 14 days for the check to get here.
That's true. That is not considering the time it takes for the mail to get to us. But once we receive it, then we will post it to the student's account. And then obviously it still might take a couple days for it to come out of the parents or the student's bank account. But we will post it, and it will be reflective on that student's account as soon as we receive it, or within that 24 hours of receiving it. Next question, a 529 provider can pay the parent specifically. Then can the parent pay Miami University? Is that okay? That is fine with us. So if your 529 provider is sending you the check or the payment, and you're going to turn around and send it to us, that's completely okay. Please repeat how high school scholarships apply to an account if check doesn't come till after August 6th. Okay, so whatever financial aid through the federal government or through Miami University is going to be reflective of on your account as long as you've met all the criteria, you've done everything that you needed to do in order to receive that aid. You're registered for full-time, you've completed all the master promissory notes and entrance counseling. That is going to be reflective on your bill. We will not reflect any payment from an outside scholarship or resource on your bill until it's actually received. That is why it's important for you to let us know under the additional payment information link that that payment is coming. So when we pull up your account and we see you still have a $1,000 balance on there, you know, we're not wondering, you know, what's going on, they made a payment and they left $1,000. We know that the reason why you left that $1,000 is because this high school scholarship is on its way. It's just not here yet, and we will code your account to make sure that there is no late payment on there. So if you go to the OneStop website, look for the additional payment information link, click on that, and then let us know that you have an outside scholarship from a high school coming in the amount of $2,000 or however much the scholarship is. And then that way, when we, after August 6th, when we run a report to see that all balances are cleared, we can see that you have a balance, but the reason why you have a balance is because we are waiting for that additional payment. So if you call our office, we can help you with that as well. We just want to make sure that you know that there's an additional balance left on your account after August 6th, and you are going through the motions to get that cleared and taken care of. Next question is, if I add money to the declining balance, Moolah or dining, will it show up before any loans are applied and refunds sent to the student? It depends on when you add those funds. So loans will disperse 10 days before the school term starts around August 16th. So any changes you make to your bill before that date, when your loans get applied, as long as you've completed the authorization of charges form, will cover any of those additional charges that get placed on your account for adding Moolah or adding dining. If you do it after the fact, then that might be a charge on your account that does not get covered from any kind of aid dispersal or before the refund is sent. So it's all about the timing. I say if you want to make any kind of changes like that to the account, please do so before August 16th, because that is when aid disperses, and we try to get those refunds out to students within the next 10 days. After that, we know that they need them for books or computers or off-campus living expenses, so we don't hold on to those refunds for federal loans specifically very long. So any changes to the bill that you are looking for your aid to cover and to be covered before any refund check is sent out, please do that by August 16th. When is Moolah deposited? and available on the student's account? Good question. So I believe a Moolah will be available to deposit on student's account once the term begins. Right now they're just placing the charges on the account, but it's not going to be available to students because most of the time, for most cases, these payments aren't made yet. So once the payments are made and school starts, then you will be eligible to use that Moolah anywhere.
If it is paid for now, it'll become available on August 1st. Let me repeat that. If it has been paid for already, then it will be available as of August 1st.
Okay, so we want to make sure there's a little question about a confirmation of dates. If enrolled in a 3-payment plan, first payment isn't due until August 20th. Correct. Even though bills are due August 6th. That is correct. So if you're enrolled in a payment plan, even though the first bill isn't due until, even though you're not making the first payment until August 20th, once you enroll, we will get notified that you are enrolled in that payment plan, and that way we will cover you as far as any late payment is concerned on August 6th. So as long as you get enrolled, we'll be notified, and even though you're not making a payment until August 20th, you will meet the criteria of having the account cleared on August 6th. So August 6th, when we say the account cleared, like I said, federal aid and scholarships and things like that won't disperse until August 16th. So there's still going to be a lot of balances on people's accounts come August 6th. If you have any concerns about any kind of repercussions or anything like that, give our office a call. But as long as you set up on a payment plan, you're good. Next question, if an online payment plan is made tomorrow, will it post tomorrow's payment due date? Our payment plan is through Nailnet specifically, so when you make a payment to them, it's not going to post right away on your Miami University Bursar account. You will be able to see it as a payment being made through Nailnet.
Through interface, it'll post pretty close.
Will it post?
Yeah,
okay.
It'll post pretty close.
Now, I'm not quite sure if I answered that question though. If a online payment plan, if I did not answer your question correctly, if that's for anybody, please let me know or restate it or what have you, and I'll work around it. I think the question is asking if the payment is made tomorrow, will it post tomorrow for the payment plan? So will it satisfy the payment plan due date? Due date. Yes. Okay. Yes. The answer is yes. You're right. Thank you, Mr. Bruce. Sorry, you guys. All right. I know there's a lot of information. There's a lot of good questions, though, so hopefully I didn't confuse you more with more answers. So if you are set up on a payment plan, will you receive a reminder each month that payment is due on a due date? I do not believe so. I believe when you set up on a payment plan, you can get the option of having it automatically pulled from your account each month, which will help alleviate some of the need for the reminder. But I do not believe that Nailnet reaches out to you each month with a reminder that payment is due. Hey, I see a nice job, Jay. I appreciate it, you guys. It's hard to talk when you're not looking at no one, and I always worry if I confuse you more through my answers. So the feedback is positive, and keep it coming. I'm still getting some questions, so bear with me. Yes, exact address for the 529 plan, just have them send it to the 301 South Campus Avenue. And you can put room 123 on there. That's out of Oxford, Ohio, 45056. Can relatives help pay loans? Yes, relatives can help pay loans. What I want to say about that is most of the loans don't come due until after the student is no longer a student with the university for 6 months up to that. But when they complete the entrance counseling, they'll find out where they can make the repayments to these loans from. And relatives can always send in payments. They don't have to wait till the student is no longer a student to start making payments as with parents and kids. You know, it's a lesson I learned the hard way, as I just got finished paying off my loans a couple of years ago. But you do not have to not pay on the loans the next 4.5 years. You can always make payments towards the loans directly to the loan provider. And a parent could do that, a student could do that, as with a relative of any kind can send checks in to help pay that down. It's actually, you know, like I said, a lesson learned the hard way. It's very smart to pay towards that interest because, you know, 4 years with interest accruing each month can really add up. So if you do pay that down, that will help come once the student graduates, that they're going to be paying towards closer to the principal of what they borrowed initially. So, good question. What was the room number? Room number again, so 301 South Campus Avenue, room number 123, Oxford, Ohio 45056. All right. Well, look, I know it's a lot of information. Again, this was recorded. It will be on our parents' website, so parents and families' website.